mastermind, aren't you?
There's something strange about all of them. Something I can't quite pin down. Something...
Yeah! We all lost our memories? That's just crazy.
Why is she crying?
What if the murder itself took place at least a few days ago?
Let's start off with a nice, easy question. Your assumption that I attacked Mukuro is just that, right? An assumption. You can't really know who was under that mask, can you? I mean, that's the whole point of a mask.
Yeah.
The true identity of the masked attacker is Mukuro Ikusaba. At least, that's what I think. Do you have any evidence that might convince me otherwise?
No, Mukuro was the one who attacked me. Even if I didn't see their face. Their nails. Mukuro had a very obvious finger tattoo, comparing that to the mask. Should be obvious.
You never saw their face, right? So you can't have any idea who was under that mask.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba.
You're wrong. Even without seeing their face, there's another part of the attacker we can use to prove it wasn't her.
Oh? And what is this other part? Is it the right hand? Or the left hand? Maybe the right foot? Or perhaps the left foot?
It was...
Or could it be the hips?
Yeah, it's the right hand.
You
the
never
right
saw
hand.
their face, right? So you can't have any... I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba.
You're wrong. There's another part of the... Oh? Is it the...
Or the left hand? Maybe the right foot? Or
I
perhaps
didn't look
the
at
left
the right
foot?
foot.
Or
Yeah, it was
could it
definitely
be
the right...
The hips.
Because if you're looking down... No, it would be on her left hand, wouldn't it?
You never saw their face, right? So you can't have any... I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro...
No.
Yeah,
it's
no, I
not.
was right. Yeah, no. It was an easy dubs moment.
Mukuro had a tattoo on her right hand, if I remember correctly. A representation of Fenrir. In other words, a wolf. But I saw the right hand of the person who attacked me. And there was no such tattoo. So there's no way the person behind the mask was Mukuro.
Yeah, well, okay. You got me. I guess it wasn't her. But that still doesn't prove that it was me. It could have been, you know, someone else, right?
Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I all have solid alibis for that entire night.
Yeah! We were in the gym tearing you apart, so it couldn't have been any of us.
Oh, okay, sure. It couldn't have been any of you. But what about Kyoko? It totally could have been her.
No.
No snappy comeback? Did I score a bullseye?
No, because the gloves.
If you insist, I don't mind showing you.
Huh? Show me what?
What do you think? I'll show you the one thing that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it wasn't me.
Brian could say anything. Kyoko was removing her gloves.
Your hands!
Without thinking, I let out a gasp. It was more than just a little burned skin.
Awful, isn't it? It happened when I was first learning to be a detective. I was inexperienced.
I thought you didn't want anyone to see those scars.
If it means we get another step closer to unmasking the mastermind, it doesn't really bother me.
That's fair. Kyoko seemed to savor the words as she said them. Then she put her gloves back on.
My scars should suffice as proof.
Yeah.
Makoto, did the person who attacked you have scars like mine?
No, not at all.
No, not at all. I'm positive.
Called it.
Then this much has been made clear. There can be no doubt that the one who attacked Makoto is the true mastermind.
This is just awful! On top of my secret being revealed, I had to look at those positively grotesque scars of yours. Sorry. Did I say that out loud? I do hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
Well, I mean,
Not at all.
she hopes,
You can say
or
whatever
he
you
hopes
want.
that he did, to be fair, but
Sure, as long as it means pushing me farther into the corner, right? But I'm not cornered just yet. Because if you haven't noticed, the circumstances surrounding Mukuro's death are totally unknown.
That's true.
all we know,
right now is she
yeah.
was killed a good while before this morning.
On the contrary, we don't know anything other than that.
You're not going to tell us she was already dead before we arrived here or something, are you?
In that regard, you have nothing to worry about. I promise you, without a doubt, she died after our little killing game began here.
Okay,
Then
yeah.
somehow she was killed in secret without any of us knowing.
And after she died, who knows how much time went by before we found her, right? Did the culprit stash her somewhere? She couldn't have been in the garden the whole time, could she?
If she was, she would have been totally decomposed. Just like your brain.
Then she was being stored somewhere?
But to hide a body here, to just store it somewhere?
There's only one place I can think. Biolab,
I got it.
easy.
Mukuro's body was probably kept hidden in the biolab.
Biolab? You mean on the 5th floor?
Oh, yeah, because that totally would have stopped her body from decomposing. And
That's
it would
right.
make sense because only
It's
the
actually set
mastermind
up for use
had
as a morgue.
access to that.
So it's the perfect place to hide a body. And it'd keep the body preserved at the same time.
Then you're also saying the body was moved from the biolab to the garden.
And I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. In fact, I have proof.
Proof that shows the body was carried from the biolab to the garden. There's something that made its way the tarp.
I got it!
The tarp easy
What
dubs.
makes me so sure the body was carried from the biolab to the garden is the tarp that we found in the garden. When I was checking it over again, I noticed something. I noticed that some text had been stamped on one corner of the tarp.
Oh, it says Biolab.
Holy cow! How'd you notice that tiny little thing?
Makoto's nitpicky nature seems to have surfaced with perfect timing.
This proves that the tarp originally came from the biolab.
Yeah. This
In
is
fact,
true.
there's a whole stack of tarps just like it in there.
So when the killer moved the body to the garden, they must have grabbed a tarp to wrap it in. Then they simply left it as it was to protect against the sprinklers, and put the coat on it afterward.
You made everything sound so amazingly consistent.
I think it's Toko.
But that's just a wild
I
guess.
think it's Toko.
Where's your evidence? Prove that the body was wrapped in a tarp and moved.
Oh, but I don't know.
There is no evidence. I was simply explaining what I think happened. But you seem to be getting pretty worked up about it, wouldn't you say?
Worked up?
Now that the conversation has turned to the topic of the biolab,
Because
you
isn't
must be
supposedly
getting
the
pretty
mastermind
nervous.
in the room with us right now?
Because the key to uncovering your secret identity is hidden within that room, isn't it?
Are you talking about unmasking the mastermind?
You see, the biolab contained an inconsistency. One so major it can't be overlooked.
Inconsistency in the biolab. What could you be talking
I
about?
can't hear you. La 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 la.
Such a child. Oh well, just ignore him.
I mean, I pull myself together and think. The inconsistency in the biolab. Could you be talking
Hey,
about?
by the way, Makoto, what about that one thing?
What? one thing.
What do you think? I'm talking about your family.
What?
Don't tell me you forgot about that video message. So what do you think? Are you sure your family's still okay?
Why are
you
you
bringing that up now?
to
Your
distract
mom,
me
your dad,
easily?
your little
It's just to
sister.
distract me. I
What
need
do
to.
you think has happened to your family? Are they really as safe as you might have assumed?
Stop talking about that!
Calm down, Makoto. He wants you to get upset.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I need to calm down. I can't let him get to me. He's just saying that because he knows we're getting close to the truth of the biolab. If I want to shut him up, I need to expose the inconsistency and slam him with it. The inconsistency has to be that one area where the numbers just don't match up.
Are you sure about this? That's impossible! Are you sure about this? That's impossible! Rawr! What? What do you want? Are you sure about this? That's impossible! Are you sure about this? That's impossible! Are you sure about this? That's impossible! I'm not listening!
Wait, shoot! The lights! Shoot!
Are you sure about this? That's impossible! I'm not listening!
This should prove it.
Okay, yeah. No, I totally forgot about that whole selecting the thing at the very end there.
The inconsistency Kyoko's talking about is the lights.
What are you talking about? What about the lights?
Like I said before, the biolab also acts as a morgue. And as part of that, a giant refrigerator was installed in there. That's where everyone who's died is stored.
And it was set up so that when a slot had a body in it, a blue light would turn on.
In other words, if the blue light is on, that means there's a body in that slot.
Yeah.
But I counted up the number of blue lights that were on, including the one Mukuro was in. And there were only 9.
Why does that matter? You gotta give me the bite-sized version here, man.
10 lights doesn't make sense. The number of lights should be on should be 10.
I got it! 10 of the lights should have been on. Any other number is incredibly suspicious.
Suspicious? Why?
That's simple. Just recall who's died here so far, and it should become clear.
Let's try the key to solving this mystery. Saiki died first. Then Junko was second. Leon was third. Hiro was fourth. Mondo was fifth. I keep forgetting that Junko even went to the school. Taka was 6th, Hifumi was 7th. Celeste was 8th. Sakura was 9th. And victim number 10 was Mukuro. So 10 people in
10
all.
people in all?
That's right. Any other number should make you immediately suspicious. But according to the lights in the biolab, only 9 people were being stored there.
So the mastermind is someone who's died? Supposedly died?
You're saying a dead body just up and disappeared?
I got it! The mastermind destroyed one of the bodies to get rid of evidence.
But if they wanted to do that, they would have destroyed Mukuro's body, since they actually killed her. And yet, her body was left alone.
Then, whose body disappeared?
It may very well be that none of them disappeared.
But if that's true, then why doesn't the body count match?
Including Monokuma's executions, there have apparently been 10 deaths, but there were only 9 bodies.
Which, I don't
That's
know.
the point I'm trying to make.
I don't know who.
I'm completely lost. How can the number of victims be less than the number of murders?
Isn't there less bodies than murders? The explanation for more murders than victims. Why is that? Only 9 murders.
Shoot!
The explanation for more murders than victims. Why is that? What could? Same person was
I got
killed
it.
twice.
What about if the same person was killed twice?
Huh? Killed twice?
Officially, 10 murders have been committed so far. But one of the victims may have been murdered, and then murdered again.
Murdered and murdered again?
If that's the case, there could have been 10 killings, but still only 9 victims, right?
Technically,
Yeah.
you're right, I guess. But still, something like that.
Could easily have happened. No, it is what happened.
Sounds like
Yeah.
you're already convinced. Then can you tell us who was killed twice?
It was Mukuro, of course. Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikusaba, she was killed as someone else.
Was that as Junko?
And that's why the body had to be stored in the biolab until the moment we found it
Yeah,
in the garden.
it would make sense. Why with all the
No, that's crazy talk. She was killed as someone else.
it would have
Come
been as
on.
Junko.
Besides, who could that someone else even have been?
All you have to do is look at those bodily
It's
injuries. of
easily
hers.
Junko.
Nothing's gonna become obvious. Because Kyoko's totally delusional.
No. Make your argument.
Who is this someone else that Mukuro was killed as? Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima? Leon Kuwata? Chihiro Fujisaki? Mando Owada? Kiyotaka Ishimaru? Hifumi Yamada?
Is he not gonna say anything?
Celestia Lu... whatever?
Ludenberg?
Or maybe Sakura Ogami? No. There's no way anyone was murdered twice.
So I think
Who is this someone? Was it
Junko Enoshima, Leon Kuwata, Chihiro.
No, that's not what I
Mando,
wanted.
Kiyotaki, Fumi, Celestia, or maybe... No, there's no way anyone was murdered twice! Who is this someone? Was it
Junko Enoshima, Leon
Kuwachi, Hiro, Mando, Kiyotaki, Fumi, Celestia, or maybe...
No. There's no way anyone was murdered.
it was Junko.
No, that's wrong.
Easily.
Junko. Wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
What do you mean?
Well, remember what happened to her? She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body.
It makes sense, but
When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered,
Then the similarities match?
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those 2 bodies are actually one and the same.
so let me see if I have this straight. Junko, or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears.
yeah.
Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again.
Yeah.
Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba.
Yes.
It all matches up, right? Those wounds Junko suffered could easily be these same injuries.
Then it's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person? Wait, so then... what does it all mean?
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9, which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is still alive.
Which, of course, it has to be either Junko or
And that's the true
Mukuzu.
identity of the mastermind?
Mukuro.
Who is it? Who's behind all this?
We already know the answer to that. It's Mukuro. She's still alive. She took Junko's body and made it look like she was the one who died.
Or is it the other way
So
around?
Mukuro is still alive. She's gotta be.
No, I'm thinking it's the other way around, isn't it?
Total silence? Then I must be right. I'm right, aren't I?
Mukuro alive? The one that's still alive is Mukuro, but can we really believe that? No, there's no way. There's no way she's still alive because of the vitals. Because they checked the over the body and it matched.
The body we found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro.
Then she's still alive?
That's right. She made so the mastermind's true identity.
What do you say, Monokuma?
The body we...
It wasn't Mukuro.
Easy. See, look at easy dubs. Easy dubs. Toko is bad. For being such a great writer, maybe
the
she
body we
should
found
try
in the
to
garden was
dip into
Mukuro.
some
That's one
Miss
thing we
Murder
can be
mystery
sure
a little
of.
bit, you know.
The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records. Right, Kyoko?
She was 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32. Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse.
And then there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo. So there's no question it's her.
Yeah.
But if Mukuro's not the mastermind, then who's actually still alive?
Junko. Some made it look like they died, but they're actually still alive. There's only one person it could be.
Here's my answer.
It's gotta be.
Junko is still alive. It's the only possibility.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Huh?
Yeah.
I admit, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw her get impaled. She died right before our very eyes. If Junko were still alive, the death we saw would had to have been some kind of charade. But you yourself confirmed she was dead, did you not?
Now that you mention it, I generally place my hand on Junko's lifeless body. I touched hers to check for a pulse like they do in movies and stuff, but she really is dead. There wasn't anything else to say. She was gone. I did check, absolutely, and I can say for
She
sure.
was dead. There's no question. Junko was dead.
We were just going through the... There were... Okay. Mukuzawa? Whatever her name is. She had to be the one impaled because the same stab wounds were on her body.
So, the idea that she's still alive.
It must be wrong.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud. Too bad, too bad.
Well, I mean, it has to.
This case hasn't been decided just yet.
Oh?
You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
Yeah, I have. I mean, no!
of course
no!
There's no way
I
I'd
have.
give up that
I
easy.
really have. I'm ready to be done with this game and just
That's
cry
all
myself
well and
to
good,
sleep.
but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way? Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died.
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
Huh?
Let's assume Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived?
By using Mukuro as a decoy. I checked to see if she was dead, I'm sure of it. But still, if she were alive somehow, it could be that Juko's not the one that died. If it wasn't Juko, but someone else entirely, maybe she used some sort of trick. Hangman's Gambit. That an A, replicate, replace. E. E? No, not C. E. Replace? Oh, it's a D, duh. Replaced. I was like,
Now I
what?
understand.
I'm just dumb. I'm very slow. I mean,
That's it.
brain.
What if she switched places with someone else?
Switched places?
That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place. Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba,
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
which is why the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile, right?
I don't know anything about this switching places thing.
I mean, it
but
makes sense.
that had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Yeah, you're saying they switched? When could they even have done that? Right when she was about to die? Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique?
You've been watching too much Naruto. Sorry, Toko.
Good point. There's just no way they could have switched like that. So maybe the whole idea is wrong.
There has to be some way. I need to figure out how to explain this.
I got it!
They switched.
Two of them may have switched places from the very beginning.
What? From the beginning?
I mean,
Yes, from the moment we first met. If that's when they switched, then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right?
yeah.
After all, the one we saw at that point would have already been Mukuro.
Hold on. So you're saying the Junko we first met was actually Mukuro all along?
Then we'd already met her?
I had like a normal conversation with her.
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was.
That would make it pretty easy, yeah.
So Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko, and we never would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
Wait, but Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right? Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
Oh, she did have the fake nails, though.
She could have hidden it with foundation or something like that. If she did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after the body was extinguished. Plus, there were the fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body. They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
Yeah.
But if she really did use foundation,
Correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say for certain it wasn't, because you can say for certain it was. Ooh.
So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto.
But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.